So we are live, everyone. Oh my God, this has been an amazing 14 minutes of technology with the savvy sales lady who really helped and walked me through and talked me off the ledge here. But so this is Meshell Baker. This is the Women of Sales and Influence, sponsored by the National Association of Sales Professionals. And today is Monday, May 20th. And I have with me an amazing guest, Christine Harrington, and she is the savvy sales lady. And I stalked this woman on Instagram because her posts and videos are so awesome that I actually reached out to her and asked her if I could have the opportunity to share with her her awesomeness. And so again, one of the things that you'll hear me say constantly about this platform is about empowering you to believe, because you know, a sales strategy without a belief will never get you where you want to go. So again, this was what you got to experience today, was what I call the imperfection of success. There is no perfect path. It's just, what do you do in the midst of the challenges, circumstances, difficulties, obstacles that come your way? How do you stay afloat? How do you stay positive and forward moving? So Christine is going to share with us some amazing insights today. And as you know, I do with all my guests, they introduce themselves. So Christine, take it away.
Hey everyone. So the question I get a lot is, what does it mean that you're a savvy sales lady? Well, that is a self-profession, I'll say that. After 42 years of being in sales and in the insurance industry, particularly in all kinds of sales, you know, I became savvy because I failed so many times and I learned from my failures. And right now what I do is sales training and coaching and keynote speaking in the sales industry. A lot of what I do is coaching sales teams and individual coaching. Plus, I've kind of morphed, Meshell, into doing corporate training videos too. So yeah, I do that as well. So you become savvy when you fail so many times.
I love that. I love that. I often met someone. I got to meet one of my. I'm a Project Runway super fan. Like, I've seen every episode, right? And one of the members is from here in Austin, Texas, Daniel Esquivel, and I actually met him at an event on Saturday. And again, we were talking and I was saying, you know, as long as you get up, you win. And he said, I love that, right? He immediately went and saved it in his phone, because again, we know there is no, there's no perfect. It's the preparation, it's the repetition, like any game. This is the game of life, the game of sales, the game of your profession. If you think of it as that term, you are constantly in motion. So there is no there, right? There's no stopping. And so the more I prepare, the more repetition I put forward, the more likely I will feel better about what I'm doing, because it's the feeling and that focus that causes us to trip up. Oh, you know, so I love what you're talking about in your topic today. So first, I'd love to hear how did you get into sales and how did you stay in sales? Because so many people start, but they leave because they find it to get hoard.
Well, the way I got into sales was I was kind of pushed in that direction. I was an insurance underwriter, and I was accused of being more sales than underwriting, because underwriting tries to find reasons not to write risks. And I was trying to find reasons to write risks. So they told me they thought I'd be better suited in sales. And so I made the transition over to sales. What has kept me in sales? Well, my personal philosophy is, I got a couple, but everybody's in sales. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a hairstylist, a car mechanic, we're all in sales. And if you master sales, you can master life.
Yes, absolutely. I always say every conversation, especially in your business, but in life, if you think about it, every conversation is converting in either a client or an advocate. And the challenge is we all get these amazing ideas and thoughts and inspiration, and then we kill them, right? And when you have more people that you can reach out to, more people that are supportive, more people that are affirming in your life, guess what? You'll more likely move forward with that idea that could be game changing for your life, not just for sales, but just elevate you in your personal life, your finances, your, relationships, whatever that is, your health and wellness. So when I go out and I create advocacy as well as clients, right? Then I'm more likely going to have that support that I'm giving to other people. And what does that look like? That looks like win-win and leaving other people better off. I, like you, I love sales because it's one of the few professions that demands that you become a better person to have better numbers, right? And it was just really gave me the opportunity to experience personal develop as well as professional develop. And that's one of the reasons I really love sales.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the biggest challenges I see in sales, Meshell, is salespeople think that all they have to do is learn a process and that's it. They're golden, Well, I don't believe that, because if every salesperson, if all to be successful is to learn a sales process, then why isn't every salesperson out there hugely successful?
Exactly.
Well, they're not successful because it takes more than a sales process. It takes developing the entire salesperson and even the mindset of becoming a successful salesperson. And with everybody I coach, it's almost like I see these patterns of behavior which are consistent with people that do need coaching. And one of those patterns is something we're going to talk about today.
Yes. And I love this. And I tell people I'm an advocate and a fan of, coaching, communities that support and elevate you, right? And all it is having that accountability to become your best and highest self in whatever category that is. Today, we're speaking specifically about sales, but having a coach, because when you have that awareness that you want something more, better, or different, you must become more, better, or different. And what better way or quicker way or more efficient way to get there than with a coach? Because otherwise you're attempting to teach yourself something you don't know. How can you create something you don't know by teaching yourself something you don't know? Kind of intriguing, right? So I'd love to hear more about the thing that you coach the most on.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people think if they pick up a book and read about sales, then they'll get it. Well, there's only so much a book can help as far as sales training, sales education, empowering yourself, okay? What you need is someone that can look at your everyday activities, listen to what you have to say, and kind of help bring up through coaching conversations some things they may not have even considered. Really, that's what a good sales coach does. It helps bring the issues up, not me waving a magic wand over them and presto, now you're a great salesperson, but leading them to uncover issues and problems they haven't thought of, just like you would with a sales client or a prospect.
Intriguing. Right? It's like, in order for me to be better for my clients, I need someone to help me be better for me first, right? Because that I love that part about the being better for our clients, because that happens organically in the moment. And the better prepared I am by the work I've done in coaching and, and repetition, the more likely I can flex and adapt like we did today. I was like, no, we are going live today. That was the desired outcome. So I stuck with it, right? And again, when we feel that way about our abilities or with a client, we're more likely to relax and allow ourselves to come up with, create that solution that's necessary.
Absolutely. And one of the articles I had posted on my website kind of delved into, especially people that are in that complex sales cycle, which I was. It could take almost, in the insurance industry, when I was selling group benefits, it could take a year or maybe 2 years to finally bring that sale to a closure. And it was a long sales cycle. And just like salespeople need coaches, the salesperson that's in that complex sales cycle needs a coach in the prospecting company that they are trying to close. So a lot of people don't think about going internally to a company to find people that they can align with, to find people that can help them, coach them with different decision makers that they may have to make, or decision makers that they're working with within that company. That internal coach could help them understand how that decision maker makes decisions. So that's a lost art out there that a lot of salespeople aren't thinking about now, because we're so technology driven.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you're pointing out that it's a lost art, because we have all of these. I was recently at a sales enablement society meeting, and they talked about the increase in sales and marketing tools, right? Technology tools, right? So there, in the last 7 years, there's been a 4,963% increase in the number of sales and marketing tools, tech tools, right? AI and, automation out there. That's a lot, right? So with that deluge of products that help simplify and automate your sales cycle, sometimes we forget that picking up the phone is one of the easiest things to do. Right? Just literally. But when you pick up the phone, what do you do? Right? What's the process of that conversation? Because no matter how much automation happens, there is a human being at the end of that. And many people require that they, at a certain level of sale, that they contact an actual person. It's not an automated, put your credit card in once you hit the tens of thousands of dollars.
Right, right. And a lot of times, one of the cautions I give salespeople is, just as you have to plan your day, which is what we're going to talk about here, you also have to plan your calls. So often we get caught up, we're running to our next appointment. Well, I'll just give so-and-so a call on my way. Don't make follow-up calls on the fly. You need to be very disciplined about when you're going to place those sales calls, those follow-up calls, those prospecting calls, and you have to be very clear in your mind what you're going to say. Just don't wing these follow-up calls, because it will come across to the prospect that you're not prepared and you're wasting their time.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the biggest things when I take on a new client, whether it's a sales team or an individual, Meshell, I always look at their daily activities, because without a doubt, if I can change their daily activities, I can change their sales. I'll just use one example of a team that I coached. Only 15% of their day was selling. The rest was service work, claims work, administration work. I mean, it was just busy work.
Mm-hmm.
I flipped that to 80% of their day being sales activities, 20% being administration, service, stuff like that. What do you think was their percentage of growth in 6 months by just doing?
Oh, it had, I would say, exponential. So minimally 4 or 5 times, right? Because it's, yeah, because it's that's the way sales is. It does not take a lot to shift your outcomes.
Yes, and everybody thinks, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. They're busy here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not busy engaging in sales activities. And a lot of times what I hear too is, well, I'm just not motivated. There's a big difference between motivation and discipline. Everybody wants the feeling of being motivated. Well, it's a feeling, it's emotion. It'll go away. What happens after it goes away? A lot of people look for more motivation.
Mm-hmm.
when in actuality, what they need is to get real and get disciplined. That's the real key to sales success, is being disciplined about your day so that other people don't make you a part of their day.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that. And one of the things that we do at the National Association of Sales Professionals, and what I do with my clients, is I actually have them create a vision, right? To think about why. Because when you tap into your own unique why for sales success, that's where your internal, I call it that inspire, which is in, you know, your inspiration, which comes from within, right? Motivation is external, inspiration is internal. And that will help to keep you at a higher level of moving forward, and helps you to create the discipline, because discipline, by another word, is habit, right? So how do I create the habit, right? I got to have some fuel for that, right? Without the fuel, I won't create a habit that's lasting or sustained. So I love this conversation around what it takes, because again, I tell people high performing sales reps wake up successful. They don't think, oh, I got to be successful when I get to work, or I got to be successful before I get to the client. You've already lost. It demands waking up saying that everything I do today is going to be successful. And what does that look like? So I agree.
Exactly. And a lot of people think discipline means taking away their freedom.
Yes.
And actually, discipline creates the freedom.
Oh my God.
Okay? Because instead of just wandering through your day, going from, you know, this activity, maybe taking a break, when you're very disciplined and structured, you'll fly through your day because you have a plan and you're sticking to it. And I'll give you some examples. Motivation will not help you get to the gym every day. Motivation won't help you do that. In the beginning, you're very excited about going to the gym. You're determined you're going to lose that weight and get into shape. And then when 4 or 5 weeks start to go on, now you're stuck in the middle. You're in the middle, and this is where people get stuck and they quit. It's the middle part that's hard. And if you don't start in the beginning with discipline, when you hit that middle area, you're going to quit. It's the discipline that keeps you at it, not the motivation. I'll give you another example. How many times during the day we tell ourselves these stories? Well, it's Monday. I shouldn't do follow-up calls on Monday because everybody's just getting back to the work from the weekend. And then they push it off till Tuesday. Well, then their Tuesday becomes especially busy, so they push it off to Wednesday. No, it won't get done. You're making excuses and stories for what you know you must do. You cannot close sales if you're not following up and having the sales conversations. So discipline, motivation won't make you go, it's Monday, I'm going to make these calls. That's discipline.
Yes.
So it's, you know, as you know, Meshell, you can create good habits and you can create bad habits. So my question to the listeners out there, look at your habits. Which ones are good and which one are bad? And the bad ones, don't think about replacing them. Just think about creating better habits.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes. So, and I 100% support you. So I generally say it in the same to what Christina said. I recommend that look at what your desired outcome is, right? So where you are is one place, where you want to be is a different place. And the space in between means creating a different set of habits. So what habits won't support you in getting to where you want to go? They're not. So yeah, so think about this. If I want a better body, and my habit is to come home and eat chips and cookies and soda and then fall asleep watching TV, well, that's not a habit that's going to support that. The new replacement habit is going to bed in a timely fashion, putting my tennis shoes at the end of the bed, setting my alarm clock earlier, having a full glass of water next to the bed so it can help me, help to get my mental acuity up quicker, because the brain is 72% water. So that's what you do. You set a new set of habits that will support the desired outcome, right? Just look at which ones don't support where you're going, and those are the ones that you replace. And you do it, and you just do a little bit every day. And when it doesn't, and because it's not, again, doing something new, it takes 10,000 repetitions before we become masters at anything. So the expectation that, as Christine said, in a couple of weeks is going to be perfect, it's going to be awesome, is what trips people up. You just want to keep doing it until it becomes like the way you brush your teeth. You don't think about brushing your teeth. People who are successful don't think about success. They just wake up and they are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And people that are successful aren't sitting on the couch every night watching TV.
No.
They're actually learning something new that can help them move their business or their sales forward. And
right.
That's another thing I highly recommend, that, cut down your TV time. Instead of, watching 5 hours of TV when you get home, take an hour or 2 hours to read something or to learn something that you need to know in order to move your business forward.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who I just listened to on a podcast. Oh my gosh, I wish I would remember now. And he said he can't remember the last time he watched TV.
Yeah.
I mean, when he gets done with his work day, he's with his family having dinner, and then once the kids are off to bed, he would sit and read until it was his, until he went to bed. And when my son was small, single mom raised my son alone. After he went to bed, I would start doing my homework on what I knew I needed to learn or be better at in order to be better at my job. So you've got to be disciplined.
Yes. Yes. And I will support that in saying the discipline is always around who do you want to become? So what happens is, if I'm trying to do something just for the outcome or a result, that's why it doesn't last. It must be tied to something where I have a vision of something better for myself, for my life, for my family, for my income. Right. So that's at the core of every human being. Is we all just, whatever we do is actually to make ourselves feel better. And that's what I remind people. So when we're just doing it to do it because we think we ought to need to have to should to get a result, that's why it's not lasting or sustained. And like Christine said, it's the discipline of that desired outcome that's going to take you to where you want to go. So I am, want to be honoring the time of yours and the time for this, but I'm loving this conversation because, again, like you said, and I can honestly say my calendar is color coded. So on my calendar, I see color code, and I know that I started doing that and then I fell off. And as soon as I fell off, I saw a different result on my income. So green, of course, being money, when there is not enough green on my calendar, I know, right, immediately. But I don't worry, because the habit that I am in now, the state of who I am now, it's always a lot of green on there now, right? But again, it did not happen overnight. It was the discipline, right, of looking at my bookings, my times, my follow-up, and things like that. So I love this conversation with, taking Chris, your 86,400 seconds in a day, right? How are you investing them? Because when you invest them, you get a return.
Well, the other thing too, Meshell, is you should be working when your clients are working. If your prospects are from 7 to 5, you work 7 to 5. If your prospects are from noon until midnight, you work noon till midnight. You work the hours your prospects are working. And sometimes that might interfere with family. But like I said, once the kids are in bed, from 9 until midnight, because a lot of people work international hours too.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to work when your prospects are working, and everything else is done in what I call off money earning time. Okay. So you don't go to the grocery store during the day, even though you could because you're in sales and you have flexibility. You do that in off money making time.
Yes.
The other thing, that second key, there's actually three keys. The second key is you have to approach this with humility. A lot of people think humility means being a doormat. That's not what humility is. Humility is recognizing something needs to be fixed, and don't look for the other person to fix it. You take responsibility and you fix it. So many times on sales teams, well, that's not my job, that's so-and-so's job. However, so-and-so is causing this person not to make this sale because of some kind of problem that's going on in that department. Be humble about it. Humble and confident. They're on the same parallel path. When you become overconfident, you become arrogant. But confident people are also humble. Even though it's not their job, they'll help fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the third key is taking ownership of everything. Everything in your world, you have to take ownership and responsibility of it. That ties in with humility. So yes, whatever your story is on why you can't sell, it doesn't matter that you've got a boss that's micromanaging you. It doesn't matter that marketing gives you the bad leads. You take ownership and responsibility for all of those things, and you find ways to fix it and work within it.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree. The common thread of what I've heard you say for your 3 points are being accountable, which I tell people means you're able to account. You're able to account for the decisions that you've made, your part in it. It's interesting. I recently had a conversation with someone who kept telling me that I didn't have a choice. And I'm looking at an adult person, right? And, you know, what I said was that when you recognize that you chose not to make a choice, then you can change your life. But as long as you keep saying you don't have a choice, you're not being accountable to the fact that you chose not to choose.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's little shifts like that in the awareness, because in order for me to create a better life, a better outcome, a better sales result, I must be accountable to where I am right now today. Because if I'm not accountable, then actually at an unconscious level, I don't believe I can actually change anything. I might be espousing it by saying I need to, have to, ought to, should, but when I truly am ready, I will say I am, I can, and I will.
Oh yeah, I like that. You know, I don't know if you saw my video, my parody video that I did on my average sales day, on the Savvy Sales Lady Day. And it's on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to see it. It's the Savvy Sales Lady.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
Or Christine Harrington, either one. If you go to YouTube, you'll find it. And it's hilarious because everything I said in that video is what I heard that week. All the excuses on, other than I hadn't had anyone tell me that the dog ate their leads yet, but that's why they couldn't make their calls. But it's a funny video. I asked this particular sales team permission to make it, and they gave it to me. And of course, they think it's hilarious, but there's a lot of truth in it. You know, you got it, as you said, you've got to take accountability.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. Right. So again, you heard it here, people. My mentor, I love, he talks about being responsible because that means you're able to respond. Right. And that's where you were talking about the humility. You're not reactive. You actually understand that everything that's happening for you, it's either giving you a clarity of what you want more of, what you don't want more of, and or an opportunity to expand in your unlimited capabilities, because imagination, which we all have, makes us unlimited. So there's never a problem. It's always a possibility. There's never an obstacle. It's always an opportunity. So this is amazing when I hear other people say the same thing. Like, I love that I get to hear, like, no one knows everything. So that's why I do this platform, as a reminder that we're all out there. There's so many of us who have said yes to our call and are just moving forward. And the Savvy Sales Lady does it so well. I had to interview her.
Well, you said that you color code your calendar.
Yes.
And what I teach my sales teams to do is, everybody has a smartphone these days, right? And they all have a calendar. So I have them from the time they start, whether it's 8 in the morning till 5 that they work, every hour is accountable to what activity that they're dedicating that hour or half hour or 2 hour to, and then set the notification bell on the iCalendar if you have an iPhone, and it'll ding to move you to your next set of activities. So I do it hour to hour myself personally. Mine goes all the way till midnight because I also structure my personal time too, because Meshell, if you don't, all of a sudden 3 hours are gone.
Yes. I've had that happen before.
That watching TV.
I know. Exactly. Yes. So, oh my God. So was there any way, are we going to give people a way to get in contact with you, or do you have a giveaway or anything that you want people to be able to get to know you better?
Sure. They can contact me at christineharrington.org, and I'll spell that CHRISTINE at Christine Harrington, HARRINGTON.org. My website is christineharrington.org. And the first person that contacts me, they'll get a free 1-hour coaching session.
Oh, look at that. I just put it in the chat. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's why I was looking down. I'm doing double duty.
I really want to say too, and I really want to thank you for inviting me to do this, Meshell. It really is important, and I appreciate you so much. There is a ton of information I give away for free to help salespeople, because my mission in life is to change the world's view on salespeople. We are needed and wanted, and we're necessary. So I give away a ton of free content on my website and on my YouTube channel. I think I have something like 200 and some videos. Now, I'll warn you about my YouTube videos though. You will see the change in me over the last 3 to 4 years with losing weight, hairstyle changes, color changes. But ignore all that because the content is good.
Well, I mean, it actually probably is affirming for people to see people change, because then they feel good about themselves. Because I don't know anyone who stays exactly the same over the years.
Well, I get bored with my hair, so I change it all the time.
Exactly. So I mean, it's
change fast.
Yeah, no, I think they will probably enjoy seeing the change, because then it inspires and empowers them that, oh my God, I can do something like this and change while I do it. Yeah. Right. So I think that's really cool that you did that. And an open forum, because many people say wait, they're going to wait until they change to do something, but you did it and changed while you did it. So that's awesome.
Right. And if we wait for all the lights to turn green to go home from the store, we will never make it home. Exactly. This is so cool. Well, oh my God. So thank you so much. I am going to wrap up. So everyone, you heard Christine said the first person who responds will receive a complimentary hour coaching. This is her actual strategy coaching, and she's been doing this for 40 plus years now. So you're getting one of the great ones on this. And I want to thank you for watching. And if you're not a member of the National Association of Sales Professionals, I advise
advise you go check out our robust membership in the association. We have a lot of tools. We have a complimentary coaching call. We have a free seller styles assessment that really tells you what your selling style is and gives you feedback on how to move forward and optimizing that. And you can find us at www.nasp.com/join. And I am Meshell Baker. Again, I am the Director of Global Sales Development. I am an international keynote speaker. I'm an expert confidence coach and a sales strategist. So I love being this every Monday. Next Monday, we'll be off for Memorial Day. I'm actually going to take a vacation day. Go figure, right? I'm going to go have some fun, y'all. And I'll see you guys on June 3rd. And thank you to the National Association of Sales Professionals, which sponsors this platform of the Women of Sales and Influence. Stay right there, Christine. I am going to go off live.
Okay.